Tagging form fields. By default, form fields in a PDF file are not tagged. Now, without proper tagging, assistive technology can't read the content, particularly those form fields. The form fields need to be tagged as a form tag in order to be read appropriately using assistive technology. There are two ways to accomplish this in Adobe Acrobat, and we're going to take a look at both methods, and you can determine on your own which method you prefer. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Adobe Acrobat, and here we have our form that we've started to build. We've made the document accessible, and we've added the form fields to the document. Now, what I'm going to do to kind of demonstrate the problem that we're running into here is I'm going to come over here to my tools. I'm going to go to Prepare for Accessibility, and I'm going to click the Check for Accessibility button. And I'm going to have it check the entire document here, and then I'm going to click Start Checking. Now in the results, you're going to notice that if I open up my page content area as well as the forms area, you can see that I'm getting a bunch of tagged annotations failed errors. And if I click on these errors, you can see that it's highlighting all the form fields in my document. And if I go down here to the tagged form elements errors, these are going to highlight other form elements in my document as well. So this, of course, is a problem. So these untagged form elements are preventing my document from being accessible. And to further demonstrate this, if I open up the tags pane and I start walking the tags tree in this document, you're going to see that it's going to highlight the textual content on the page, but it's completely skipping over those form elements on the page because, of course, they are not tagged. All right, so let's take a look at how we're going to tag these form fields. I'm going to zoom in on this document so we can see it a little bit better. And in the Prepare for Accessibility tool, I'm going to click on the Fix Reading Order tool. And that's going to open up my reading order panel. Now, when this panel is open, I can use my cursor to select objects on the page. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag to marquee the first form element that I want to tag. Now when I do this, you're going to notice that in addition to the form element, it's selecting, it looks like a space here, and over here it's selecting a path that is used to structure the table. Now, using this tool, you can hold down the Control key on your keyboard, and I can marquee over this element to deselect it. I'm going to do the same thing over here to this rule or this path. I'm going to deselect that path. And so now the only thing I have selected is the form element. Now within the reading order panel here, you're going to notice that I have a button that says Form Field. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And that is going to tag that object as a form tag. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to select this guy. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and deselect these errant elements on the edge here. And then I'm going to click the form element again. I'm going to do it one more time, way over here. And I'll tag that as well. Now, if I close this and I now open up my tags pane, you're going to see that I have 3 new form tags, one for each of the form elements that I tagged in this document. And if I open up any of these form tags, you're going to see that within each form tag is an OBJR object, which is an object reference. And that's basically the content of the form. So the form tag is kind of identifying the object, but the object reference is the form tag itself. Now, if I were to go through my entire document using that method, it's going to take quite a bit of time, right? I have a lot of work to do. I've got to manually go through and one by one tag each one of these form fields. So let me show you a little bit more efficient way of making this happen. What I'd like you to do is click on the tags item within your tags panel. And that'll just kind of set us up for what we're about to do. And then if you click up here in the three-dot menu, we're going to choose Find. And in the Find Element dialog, I'm going to click on the drop-down and I'm going to choose Unmarked Annotations. I'm going to search the entire document and then I'm going to click the Find button. Now you're going to notice the first object it finds is the first untagged form in this document. Once it has found the element, I can click on the Tag Element button and it says, how would you like to tag this object? Well, just as I did before, I want to tag this object as a form. Now when I click OK, it's going to tag that form element and it's immediately going to find the next untagged form element in my document. So I can just click Tag Element and then I can hit the Enter key on my keyboard to hit the OK button in this dialog box, and I can keep repeating that and I can tag the rest of the form fields in my document. And once I've tagged all of the form fields, I'm going to get a dialog that says Find Completed. And I can click OK, and now you will see over here in the tags pane that I've got a pretty long list of form tags that I've tagged in this document. And if I just kind of walk the tags tree from form element to form element, you're going to see that it has tagged every form element in my document, and I now have all of the form tags tagged appropriately. So that's all there is to tagging the form fields. That is half the battle of what we need to do here. And if I now come over here and I rerun my accessibility checker, you're going to notice that now under the page content category, as well as under the forms category, everything is passing because I've satisfied the requirement of tagging all the form fields in this document.